Once upon a time, a poor miller passed away, leaving his youngest son only a cat. At first, the young man felt disappointed, as he thought he had no fortune ahead. But this was no ordinary cat. With a sly grin, the cat promised him a life of fortune and said, "All I need is a pair of boots and a bag." Although surprised, the young man trusted his clever companion. Together, they set out on a journey, ready to change their fate with nothing but wit and bravery. With his new boots and a sturdy bag, the cat embarked on an adventure. His first clever act was to catch a rabbit in the forest, which he took as a gift to the king. Bowing low, he declared, "A gift from the Marquis of Carabas." The king, pleased and intrigued, gladly accepted the rabbit, assuming it was from a nobleman. The cat's plan had only just begun, and the young man began to believe that his fortune might truly change under the guidance of his cunning friend. Day by day, the cat would bring fresh gifts to the king, each time saying they were from the Marquis of Carabas. The king, growing more curious, began to wonder about this generous marquis. One day, the cat heard that the king and his daughter, a beautiful princess, would soon travel along the river. Seeing an opportunity, he quickly devised a plan that would surely impress the royal family and elevate his master's status even further. The cat instructed his master to bathe in the river, then to pretend he was drowning as the king's carriage passed by. Right on time, the cat cried out, "Help! My master, the Marquis of Carabas, is drowning." The king immediately ordered his guards to save the young man. Grateful and fascinated, the king invited him to join them. The cat's cleverness shone brightly, and his master, dressed in fine royal clothes, looked every bit the nobleman. Dressed in elegant clothes from the king, the young man appeared noble. The princess took notice of him and admired his calm and humble demeanor. Meanwhile, the cat ran ahead, telling the farmers along the road to greet the king and say the land belonged to the Marquis of Carabas. The farmers, eager to avoid any trouble, agreed without hesitation. Little did they know that their words would only add to the cat's growing illusion of his master's wealth. As the king passed by vast fields and small villages, each greeted him, saying the lands were owned by the marquis. Impressed, the king turned to the young man and praised him for his grand estate. The young man, though surprised, went along with the cat's plan. With every step forward, the king became more convinced of the young man's high status, unaware that the lands actually belonged to a powerful, yet greedy, ogre. The cat, aware of the ogre's vast wealth, arrived at his grand castle. Boldly, he requested an audience with the powerful ogre. Curious, the ogre agreed, welcoming the small visitor. "I've heard that you can transform into any creature you wish," said the cat. Pleased with the flattery, the ogre transformed into a massive lion, roaring fiercely. The cat pretended to be amazed, hiding his true intentions behind a look of awe. Not yet satisfied, the cat then challenged, "But could you turn into something smaller, perhaps a mouse?" The ogre, overconfident and wanting to show off, immediately changed into a tiny mouse. In an instant, the cat leapt forward, pouncing on the mouse and swallowing him whole. With the ogre gone, the castle and all the lands now belonged to the cat and his master, the young man who was growing accustomed to his new life. When the king and his entourage arrived, the cat proudly welcomed them to the grand castle, declaring it was his master's. The king, amazed at the castle's splendor, truly believed the young man to be a noble marquis. Overjoyed, the king offered the young man his daughter's hand in marriage, which he gratefully accepted. The clever cat's grand plan had led to incredible fortune and status for his once poor master. A grand wedding was held in the castle, with the young man and the princess at the center of the celebrations. The king was proud of his new son-in-law, and the people cheered for the Marquis of Carabas. Only the young man and his cat knew the real story behind their good fortune. The cat's cleverness and loyalty had transformed a poor miller's son into a wealthy noble, and life in the castle was filled with happiness and prosperity. Puss continued to serve his master with loyalty and clever advice, helping him rule wisely. The kingdom soon came to love the Marquis of Carabas and respected him deeply. The cat, now famous for his wit, enjoyed a luxurious life. His adventures became the talk of the kingdom, with people telling stories of his clever tricks and admiring the way he had turned the tide for his young master. With each passing year, Puss in Boots was celebrated as a hero. He had changed his master's life and had shown the people that courage and wit could bring about great fortune. People from distant lands came to see the clever cat in boots who had defeated an ogre and helped a poor man become a noble. The once poor miller's son was now known as a wise and beloved ruler, thanks to his loyal companion. Puss was given a place of honor in the castle, enjoying every luxury he had earned. He entertained guests with stories of his daring feats and clever tricks. The young man, now a noble, always expressed his gratitude, knowing he owed his fortune to his beloved friend. The clever cat had proven that with loyalty and intelligence, one could achieve what seemed impossible. The tale of Puss in Boots became a favorite story across the kingdom. People admired the clever cat's courage and loyalty, seeing him as a symbol of hope and cleverness. He had shown that one need not be strong or wealthy to make a difference, but simply wise and brave. Together, he and his master ruled with kindness and inspired the kingdom to embrace creativity and friendship. As Puss grew older, he enjoyed the peaceful life he had earned. Although his adventurous days had passed, he remained as sharp as ever. He looked after his master's growing family and brought laughter and wisdom to the castle, reminding everyone of the power of friendship. He had proven that even a humble cat could become a legend through loyalty and quick thinking. The kingdom flourished under the wise rule of the Marquis of Carabas, and Puss was honored as a respected figure. Sitting by the warm fire, he would recall his adventures with pride. His story was told far and wide, inspiring all who heard it. Puss in Boots was no ordinary cat, he was a hero whose clever tricks and loyalty had changed the lives of those around him forever. As the years passed, Puss became beloved by all. Children and adults alike admired his courage, coming to hear his tales. He had turned a simple life into a legacy of adventure, leaving behind lessons in bravery and loyalty. His story lived on, celebrated by everyone in the kingdom. Puss had become a timeless hero, a legend who proved that intelligence and courage could change lives. Even as he aged, Puss remained proud of his journey. He had fulfilled his mission, transforming his master's life and bringing joy to the kingdom. His tales were cherished, and he had become a symbol of wit and courage. He taught people that even a small creature could make a big difference, and his legacy lived on, remembered by all who treasured the clever cat in boots. In the end, Puss passed away peacefully, his heart full of pride and happiness. The people of the kingdom honored his memory with stories, songs, and celebrations. His master kept his boots as a treasured reminder of his dear friend. The legend of Puss in Boots continued for generations, a story of loyalty, cleverness, and the extraordinary bond between a young man and his clever cat.